Okay. We're going to check the audio real quick. Make sure I got my shit set right. What's happening, everybody? Good to see you guys this evening, this Sunday evening. Testing 1, 2. Y'all hear me? What's going on, Troy, Justin, KP? Good to see y'all. There's a little delay here, so I want to check this audio real quick. Good to see everybody. Jumping in real quick. Say hello. Drinking that coffee at 8 o'clock at night, you know. Anyways, got a pretty good. We had a pretty good video yesterday. One second. Anyways, got a pretty good. We had a pretty. I don't think that's the right. I don't think that's the right one. Hold on, let me check that audio. Not on it. Let me check it again. You guys hear me? Sounds pretty good now. Let me check it again. Maybe not. You guys hear me? Sounds pretty good now. Let me check it again. Maybe not. It's not working. You guys hear me? Sounds pretty good now. Let me check it again. Maybe not. It's not working. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't really know what it is. Answer the trivia. Give me 1 second, guys. Is there an echo there? Can you guys hear me? Everything sounds good? Is there an echo there? Can you guys hear me? Everything sounds good? Okay, well, I mean, we're going to go with it. Yeah, I didn't see the setting for my mic, but it sounded like there was an echo on my side. See, I can do the audio check on my side on the whatever, you know, just by watching my own live stream, because that's how I'm able to edit or whatever, change, whatever. Let's get into it. Anyways, this past weekend, we tore down a couple 351s. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out that video, it was pretty good. It was pretty wild. We had it done in, you know, probably 2 or 3 hours or whatever. But that's like kind of where we're at right now. I love to bring the, I've been bringing a lot of the 387, 351 content because it's just my favorite engine to build. And I just said to myself, you know, with Dave Dahlk, he was, you know, Dave always builds engines with us. His machine shop, he's been gone for, well, like a month and a half now. He's on a business trip. And he'll be home this weekend, but he's got some work to do before he could start even touching the 387. So it's going to be a while because we got to get it, you know, hot tank. We got to get it. Well, I don't have a hot tank, but, you know, I have access to a Sonic tank, but we got to get it hot tanked first and get it cleaned up. Anyways, got a lot to talk about today. You know, 351 Windsor. I mean, if you had an opportunity to boost a stock bottom end and put a little turbo on it, or just build a high compression stroke motor, what would you build? You know, I mean, that's, we did the 387 stroker, and there's one thing that I always wanted to do that I have the opportunity to do right now, and that's take this 351 behind me, which is a roller motor, and do kind of what we did with my dad's stock bottom end 302. And I'm kind of curious because I'm pretty sure those motors all, not only are they roller, but I'm pretty sure the pistons are hyper eutectic as well. So it makes it not so bad versus like the non-roller 302s, or excuse me, the non-roller 351s were all like a cast aluminum. Those were really bad. You don't want to boost those at all. Those things would just kind of fall apart. I mean, people have done it. It works. It's not a problem. But if you're going to boost a 351 stock bottom end with a stock piston, I would 100% do a 94, 97. But let me jump through the chat here. What's up, McBride Racing? Good to see you. Does anyone have advice on OEM? Does anyone have advice on how well OEM GT40P heads hold up 12 to 1? Just got my first running small block Ford, excited to mod it. So 12 to 1's kind of a lot of compression. You know, GT40P heads are a nice bolt-on head. They're not terrible. I mean, they're junkyard heads, but you know, there's a lot of aluminum heads that are better than that. But the point I'm trying to make is you could put them on and make them work. 12 to 1's a little bit high in the compression range. So hopefully you're running some sort of E85 pump gas, or maybe even possibly you know, some sort of like I don't know, high octane 110 at least, you know. So pumpkin head on turbo forms made almost 1,000 on a roller block 351 many years ago. Well, we made 1,000 on a roller block 351 on a production block. We did that in White Car with the 408. I'm talking about what I would like to try to do. Now, I know you guys know we can build a 410, we can build a 408, we build 393, we build a 387, we can build a 357. We can build whatever the hell we want. But I want to try to keep it relevant. The whole point of the black cars build is to be street, me to enjoy it, which I enjoyed the shit out of it in 24. You know, I should have never put that oil paint on there, had a big leak in it, and leaked into the diaper so much that we were just starved from oil. That's the reason why the 387 isn't here. It isn't here because it died mechanically because there was something wrong with it the way it was built. It died because I wasn't paying attention to the oil. And by the time I caught it in the diaper, the whole diaper was literally soaked with the 3 pads were completely soaked. And I mean, I think we only ran six quarts of oil in that anyways, for the most part. 7, 6.5, 7. So, I mean, there was a lot of oil. Once you start, you know, once we took it to the drag strip, it sucked all the oil to the top end on a nice quarter-mile hit. You know, naturally you could see what would happen there. You know, you would starve the motor of oil. So, you know, it's negligent on my fault. I'm not blaming. It's my fault just as much as it is me not paying attention to the, you know, a possible, you know, issue with the oil pan. But it is what it is. But I wonder where all that smoke was coming from. But anyways, the 387 didn't fail because of the way it was built mechanically. It was failed on a, you know, negligence of me not paying attention to the level of the oil, taking it racing, and when I should have probably, had I just changed the damn oil like I was going to earlier that day, I would have caught it, and we would have still had the 387 in the black car chilling, right? And we would probably be building a stock bottom end 351 for cousin Paul's clapped out coupe or some shit, because that's kind of where we'll go with it. Anyways, we'll talk about it here in a minute. What's up, Mike Cathan? What's up, Sean? It was Allen, Gregory Cooks. It's good to see a lot of my members in chat, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. You guys in green, check out that join button, become a member. Appreciate you guys. You guys see that damn snow on my trailer today? Okay, I can't get away from Ohio. I'm telling you, this shit's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. 4 feet or 3 feet of snow off the top of my trailer, and my trailer's bent in. I can't win for losing around here. I'm telling you. So we got to fix I guess we're going to have to fix the trusses and hope I can kind of reinforce them to where we won't have that problem again. You got to do something, man. Looks like we'll be using a jack and a 2x, 4x4 or whatever. For the topic tonight, my opinion is stroker in a street. Okay. So you don't see any turbo. That's because it's sitting over there in 2 boxes. Compression and turbo. Well, that's not a bad idea. Hot Rod Hillbilly. You was talking about an intake that ain't no cheap options. There are some China EFI intakes for $200. Correct. So one of the intakes that we bought, like for this build, man, I got to turn that heat off. It's hotter than shit here. So one of the intakes we bought that we're going to use is the other one. Now we were Speedmaster, the Speedmaster lower intake, but we had already bought this, and we're going to be running the function 363. So we will be doing it a little bit different than we did with the 387. That's for sure. So shit. That thing's stuck in the box. So instead of buying a film or a bunch of foam and shit, they like literally plastic that thing to the damn box. That's crazy. Like you can't. It won't fall out. But anyways, I bought the lower carb style with the hat. I wanted to try something a little bit different. I'll be talking about this in the videos we got coming up. I don't think I've ever done the carb style EFI, like the spider setup and shit. That's what I want to do. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, Robert. Not enough head for that much compression. You will gain big with some bigger head. That's correct. What's up, Pimp? Good to see you. So let's say practically I'd run 93. You can't do that. Not on 12 to 1. Unless you want to be, yeah. What are you trying to gain with 12 to 1? Okay. The heads aren't going to flow. Hi, y'all. I'm doing my first 351 Windsor with a F cam. Does anyone know how much initial timing I should start with? Is it carbureted or is it fuel injected? What's up, Bob? Good to see you, Bob Brown, in the house. Shelby County in the house. Noel Rivera, good to see you, brother. Cousin Paul in the house. Man, I ain't seen him in chat forever. When last time y'all seen Cousin Paul in chat? Hey, look, I took all that snow off that damn trailer, boy. So got about 6 feet on each side of the trailer. It's got to wait to melt. It's ridiculous. Bent the trailer in, Cousin Paul. I don't know. The engineer in me says, go get a 4x4 and jack that shit up, and then put like a brace bar. Does that make sense to you guys? Talking off topic of 351s real quick. I got to fix my trailer. I'm not giving up on it. They all make fun of my landscaping trailer. I ain't got no fancy ass trailer, but it's enclosed. And I mean, it's been through its time, so I think we'll take the trusses and we'll bend them up. We'll bend them back up, and then we'll kind of reinforce the edges, I think. I don't know what you guys think. What happened to the rear end? It ain't done yet, son. I was too busy. It's over there. Got both of them sitting right there. I got to finish taking the other one apart. So you guys waiting on me? So McBride, we're going to be taking our axle that we took out of the white car over to McBride. They're going to put my anti-squat / shock, adjustable shock lower, whatever. My control arm brackets that we literally tore off the back of my white car. So got 2 axles we're doing same time, 2 sets of brackets. We're doing all the bracing and all the welding. They got like this apparatus that they can put the axle in and kind of like stiffen it up to make sure it doesn't move when it gets welded or whatever. So what's up, Ron Priest? Jesse Workman, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. How much timing should I run wide open throttle NAHCI? Thank you for all your budget and above mods, for all the Ford power. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I try to keep it. Listen, we do some higher builds here, like a higher dollar stuff, like we did with the white car. I mean, the coupe has some nice shit. I got some nice motors, but we built this whole channel on doing like stock block 302 shit. So I mean, what makes anybody think that I'm gonna stop doing that? Hell to the no. I mean, it's you gather enough parts over the years that like tell me you're not like this. Walking through a swap meet or some shit, or walking through like a garage sale or a buddy sale or something, and you be like, hey, I might use those headers someday. Hey, I might use that someday. And then you just acquire so many damn parts that you forget you had them. So like, it's kind of nice because I'm able to double back on the 351 build here. I actually have a set of Windsor heads. We're going to be talking about them on the next video, actually. And I rebuilt them because I was going to like sell them, but I never got to it. I just put them back in the box and shit. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, we want to keep the 351 Windsor build, the turbo build. The turbo is going to make power anyways, period. Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not looking to make 1,000 horse. I'm not even looking to make 750. I'm not even looking to make 600. Let's get this right. I just want the car to run right. I want to see how much it just makes just on like stock pistons and rods and crank and flip them, like a refresh, like we did with Dad's 302, kind of keep it relevant, bearings, oil pan. Like, I got the stuff right here. We're going to need to do, look, I got me a new rack. Yes, sir. So, headers will be like for the turbo. So I got an oil pan. Big shout out to my boy Tyler Garlock. Tyler Garlock was going through like some shop out there in Michigan, and he thought of me, and I appreciate him. He got me one of the fancy little Ford Racing 351 swap double sump for like $100. So he saved me like $300 on this bill. And distributor we already got, but I got to change the gear. Oil pump drive shaft, that's always a must. Intake, we got the carb one over here. Accessories, well, we're just going to use what we had on the black car to begin with. You know, balancer and flywheel. So I'm not going to probably run the stock balancer. We're going to run a good balancer at least. So harmonics would be killing motors, bro. They'd be killing motors. If you're looking for a throttle body for that EFI, I got a brand new Holly 4-barrel that I've never used. You can have. I appreciate that. Actually, we're not going to go carbureted on the 351 build. We're just using a carb style intake. So let me show you real quick what we got. And then we'll talk about, like, I'm not going to be able to, I guess if I was to make a decision between stroke and to talk about what we're talking about live stream versus like a turbo stock block, to be honest with you, I don't really know. I really can't make that decision yet, because if it was a stock block 302, I would say no. I would go with the stroke 351 because it'd make less horsepower. But if you had a 408, 420, I wouldn't say 427 because then you get into the high dollar block and build and rotating assembly. Let's just call it 408 or even 393. 393 could be a really budget 351 stroke motor because all you really have to buy is you could buy like a cast steel crank like we use on a 387, which is like $350, $400. And then you just buy some decent forged pistons, which I think you can get like a set of cheap Speed Pros for like 500 or something. But the point I'm trying to make is you could still use the stock rods, run some ARP bolts, and have a decently stroked out, 351 Windsor that you didn't have a whole lot of money into. At that point, it starts getting into the rabbit hole. People are like, "Oh, you just put a cam in it, put big ass heads in it, that thing will fly." Yeah, but that's kind of we could do that, but we don't want to do that. I'm trying to keep it as relevant as possible. What do you guys think I should do with this block? Do you think I should keep it budget? Like, I'd be happy with just keeping the stock cam in there, doing a straight refresh on the shit and slap a turbo kit on it. But we got to take the cylinder heads off. If you watch the video, we got a couple of them damn bolts broke off in the front intake. So we still got extractions we got to do, so I don't know. You tell me what you think I should do. I got a set of cast iron Windsor heads that I've rebuilt sitting over here. I got a set of GT40 heads sitting around here somewhere. I got the factory ones, which are the little does anybody know, but I shouldn't say it like that. These cylinder heads right here are identical to E7 heads. Like the 94 to 97, you'd be surprised on how close this motor is to the other motors that were before it. Like, legitimately, those cylinder heads are the same exact heads that were on fox bodies. E7TE is a truck head. So when they stuck the truck heads on the 302, 87, and 93. So they must have, and I didn't know this, right? I mean, until you put hands on some shit, you can't figure it out. That's basically E7TE heads with half-inch holes. It's the same head. So it's like having stock fox body heads. The camshaft that's in the roller, junkyard roller, is a TE cam, which is the same camshaft that's in the Explorer 96 to 01. Does that make any sense? So it's like a 448, 422 lift camshaft. So it's not the little shitty one that's in 92 351s. And then it's got the dog bone retainer for the retainer for the lifters, and it's got hyper eutectic pistons, where the same pistons that were in 93, the Cobras, not the same pistons, but the same material. So it wasn't that bad. That's why I'm kind of interested in what this actually could do versus like a 90 or 92 or even a 70s model 351, where you have to convert to roller or whatever, and they didn't have any good pistons, so you already automatically had to buy them. I don't know. There's some shit to think about. Stock block turbo 351. I'd like to see a refresh on the 351 and a turbo kit. It doesn't get more budget than that. I mean, I got a lot of people in the comments. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I got a lot of people in the comments, on that video, talking like, hey, just slap a camshaft in it, put a set of aluminum heads on, and put a big intake, and fly to the moon. And it's just like, that's not what I'm trying to accomplish with this. It's almost to the point to where I want to do a refresh on it Okay, rings, bearings. Okay, let's make sure that, first of all, let's make sure that that I can still use the same pistons anyways. You know, I might get into these cylinder heads and take the cylinder heads off, and these these holes might be warped. You know, they might be they might have excessive wear where I can't even use the factory pistons again. So we got to get that far first. Judging by the way the motor looks inside, it probably is a pretty good motor to, it's kind of like the one that I found when I first originally decided to build the 387. If you remember, it had really, really good bores. And that's what gave me the whole idea to do that. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, simple refresh would be, you know, rings. You know, we're going to do just some cheapy rings like we did in the 387s. You know, I wouldn't say cheapy, but under $100, I think you get a good set of plasma mollies. Nothing spectacular. Set of Cleveite 77 bearings, nothing crazy. It's just a simple rebuild, budget minded, some stuff you would get at the damn parts store. I think, what's the number? E458K or some shit. That's the ring number. I don't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about. So probably just put some new cam bearings in it, wash the block, hone it with my little ball honer like I did the 387. Who gives a shit? And we'll just build it. I mean, I'm leaving some, sure, not putting the proper hone tool in the, you know, getting the exact specs, whatever, you know, you leave 10 horsepower on the table. You know, I hear those people chirping in my ear sometimes when you know, when on my old 387 build, my old 302 builds, if you hone it like that, you're losing horsepower. It's what it is what it is. What's up, Gabe? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you in the house. Yeah, Neo, I would really like the Vortex supercharged 10, 12 pound boost on that engine, bro. We have an old school A trim, but it's not going to make that much power. Mike Crawford, what's up? I think you should build it the way you want to build it for start, unless you want to see the best dyno number. So that's where I'm not going to go. I'm not looking. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If we tickle anything close to 600 on this build, I'm going to freaking laugh. I'm dead serious. Like, I don't care about power. I care about stability, how well it runs, and if we can squeeze some power out of it, this is what we accomplished at like 10 pounds of boost, maybe 12. I'm not going to go to the moon, because if I could get these pistons to work, right? Hyper-eutectic, you know, people think, you know, people say you can't boost hyper-eutectic. Absolutely. You could absolutely, I wouldn't get crazy with it. But you could put 10 or 12 pounds on a stock piston from 93 or 96 and 0 up Explorer motor. I just did the video where we swapped all that shit from a GT40 motor over to or excuse me, we swapped all the foxbody shit over to a GT40 motor, and that's why I did that. Like, honestly, bro, if you're just gonna go turbo, say you got a 302 issue, and I'm gonna double back on that. Say you got a 302 issue, just go get an Explorer motor from the junkyard. You know, I mean, even if you boost it 10, 12 pounds, you'll be fine. Everything will be good. I think that it would be nice to do a non-stroker turbo build and see what it does and how good it is street to drive. Stock 302, stock 351, bottom end, good heads, boosted, have fun. So, like I said, so this is where we're at with cylinder heads. Should I take the stock E7 heads over here? Okay, these are basically E7. These are the exact same heads that are on your stock foxbody 87, 92. 3. Exact same heads, 94, 95. Should I take these cylinder heads and build this motor? The only thing that I'm getting screwed up on right now, and it's kind of messing me up, is the fact that I don't have like a little GT40 cheap bottom end thing to do. Like, I would 100% use a Explorer lower on this type of a setup and just boost the shit out of it. Have some fun. But at that point, I can't do that because I don't, you know, first of all, I'm not paying $800 for an aluminum GT40 lower. Unless I find somebody, unless somebody's watching this right now, unless somebody wants to sell me one on the cheap, that you know, for just for the videos, and fine. You know, I got all the GT40 intakes, and the one thing I don't have is a lower GT40. Now, would it kind of choke it? Absolutely. I'm not looking to put a bunch of air in the motor. You know what I mean? I'm just looking to do a basic 351 Windsor rebuild, put it down in the black car, while the 387, we're going to do different. I'm going to actually go like step by step with the 387 stroker combo that we're about to put together at the dyno shop, like to the point that this is the crankshaft we used. Here's where we drilled. This is how much we took out, if any, or added, or I don't think we're adding. I think we drilled both times. This is the harmonic balancer I used. This is where we drilled, and this is how big the holes are. Like to the point to where that information right there is going to be absolutely huge for anybody that wants to build a 387 stroker and save some money not balancing. Do they take a chance? Yep. But it's budget. Who gives a shit? Take a chance. Maybe if it doesn't work, you're not out a whole lot. You know what I mean? But it's got to be close, because if you use it, I know there's going to be little differentiations between when this crankshaft was made and which crankshaft was made here, but it's not going to be enough to give a shit, especially on a budget build like that. So let me come back to the what's up, Adventure with Super Dave. Good to see you, brother. Broken tool in the house. Broken tool in the house. Break out the dingleberry. You damn right, bro. We done good with the dingleberry over the years, bro. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with that damn 387 or 393. Listen, if you got an opportunity to spend a little bit of money, say you got a 351 Windsor, and like this one that the first one that we were going to tear apart. If you watch the video, you know what I'm talking about. The first one we were about to tear apart was sludgy and shit. It's going to need some work. That type of build, you pulled it home, you got it from the junkyard for $200 or $300. Tear it apart, tear it down to the block. That's a borable block, and that's a borable block. That at that point, you have a choice to make. What kind of pistons I'm going to put in it. Consider the fact that the crankshaft's pretty good. You don't even need that. Well, if the crankshaft's pretty good and the rods are pretty good, don't need to just be polished or whatever. You can build a 357. But if you're going to buy pistons, you might as well buy the cheap crank and make the 393. It is what it is. But nothing wrong with a good 351 GT40P head, motor, because that's basically a lightning motor. Pretty stout little build right there. Frankenstein, what's up, man? Have you figured out what you're going to do with the intake manifold on the Cleaver build? There's a website. Now, the Cleaver build we're building for an engine dyno purposes. If I ever get an OBS truck, we've talked about this. Me and Dave are talking about going partners in on that, building a shop truck and bringing it to the channel. We talked about that quite extensively, but we want to build the Cleaver build, and we want to build the 410, the 408 that we have extra. So we have an extra 351 Windsor block over here that needs to be bored. Kind of like what I was just talking about. We had to make a decision at that point. Like, what are we going to do with this engine? And Dave's like, well, if you want, we'll do content on them heads with that engine. And if we can get an old OBS truck, I don't think I want the dent side, what I'm trying to think what they call that. Anyways, I think we were talking like a 70, 69, 70 year. I think that's dent side. We talked about that. I actually had some people, I appreciate you guys sending me some messages about it, but we're going to build the Cleaver motor just for fun. And it's going to be an engine dyno motor, and we're going to see how much we can do with it. Probably will never go in any of my cars for sure. Just want to have some fun with some of the shit that we got laying around here. Bring content to the channel, E7 heads, sorry. Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to use the stock heads again. They're too small ported. Now, I don't want to make it seem like it's a higher dollar build either, because I was talking, I was going back and forth with somebody earlier today, and I was telling them, we were going to stay budget with it. Now we're still going to do, the stock bottom end. Hopefully the bore is pretty good. Rings, bearings, cam bearings, whatever. Camshaft, what are we going to do with camshaft? Obviously, I have a bigger intake to go on it unless I got a GT40 lower from somebody. That's not off the table either. But I got to put heads on it. It's either going to be GT40s, the Windsor Juniors I have over there, or some sort of aluminum shit that I find on Marketplace. I don't know. I do have AFRs, but if I put AFRs on anything, it would go back on the 387s, and I would maybe put the 170s on this on the 351. I don't know. That's a possibility. That is definitely a possibility. We'll be signing a contract. We hope, we're possibly, it's looking pretty good that we're going to get an opportunity to team up with our trick flow this year. We're going to be running some 227s on the 363 with the twin turbo on the coupe. So that's also going to free up a set of heads. So I may take my old AFR 205s and put them on the 387. That frees up these 170s I could put on here as well. But then again, we're talking not budget. I don't know. Confused. I don't know what to do. I got a GT40 intake, upper and lower. You talking about for a 351? What about porting the heads, intake, and maybe some small cam upgrade? That I wouldn't do that. Porting cast iron is miserable. What up, Hanlon in the house? Good to see you, brother. I've got a 351 GT40 lower with a 95 Cobra. I'm just looking. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I mean, you see them right here. I got the Cobra, I got the Lightning, and I got multiple Explorer ones that don't have bases or AKA lowers. So if anybody was interested in selling me one of the lower GT40s, I may consider using them on our little budget build over here, 100%. And then watch how mad everybody gets when we make 600 on that shit. I mean, I would rather not use the Edelbrock EFI, but I'm definitely interested in trying a different combo like that, which we're going to be doing that on the 363 anyway. We're going to be running the trick flow lower port match CNC to the 227s matched to the trick flow rails. So that's coming in the content too, but that's that high dollar shit that some people can't relate to. And that's why I'm trying to do the 351 Windsor build. And we're still going to be doing some of the snow's gone, a good half of it. So we're going to be taking Dad's car to the dyno too. So don't forget about that. What about keeping it budget home porting? That's tough. That's tough, bro. I'm telling you guys, it's tough to listen. If it was aluminum, sure, but it's not in. Cast iron's just so miserable. Yeah, step side, flare side. I thought they called it dent side. What was the other name for it? Can't remember. Shop truck cleaver would be killer. Bull nose. This is the 80s. So we did one. It would be a 79, or excuse me, an 80, or excuse me, 69, 70. Again, I didn't mention the cleaver stuff, not to do it. So that's something. Again, I haven't seen Dave in over a month. So we got plans for that cleaver beginning of next year, middle of next year, for some content here on the channel, some old school horsepower. But that's the type of shit that we're going to be taking to, probably down to McVeigh's or something, over to Cam's or something to see how much power it makes on the engine dyno. Hey, Neo, I think if you're keeping it budget, then just refresh the engine and put a turbo on it, about 10 pounds, a good fuel system. So you think I should just leave the E7 heads on there, is what you're saying? Flowtech, ProMax, Speedmaster all have budget heads. Yeah, I know that. Now, if you run some P heads on a 351 Windsor and a Fox, what kind of headers would you have to be looking for? Able to run a long tube with that? It depends on which long tube you run, but we'd be running turbo headers though, so it shouldn't be a problem. What up, Bama? Good to see you, brother. You should get an eBay intake. I mean, the Speedmaster one, or whatever knockoff of that, was like $250. So I just got the Edelbrock one because I didn't want to deal with having a warped ass intake or something that was crap. I think that one was like $500. And then you got the elbow. So I mean, I still got $700, $800 in that stupid intake. You know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is. Bump side. Keep it as budget as possible. Make it relevant. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I do have a set of 351 Windsor heads that I rebuilt with springs that I could put on there. Same ones that's on it. I don't know. If I left the E7 heads on there, I would have to have a GT40 lower. I would have to. Because at that point, the whole motor is factory Ford, minus the head studs. And I got 172 rockers over here that are actually from a Cobra. So that's really kind of considered factory Ford, right? Even though we're cheating a little bit there. What you guys think? And then just go spin it, man. 76 millimeter turbo. It'd probably make 600 wheel, 550 wheel, 600 wheel. I don't know. Wouldn't move a lot of air. I know that. with that stock cam. Do have a B cam. I got an Anderson cam, N41 cam. Got a B31, but that's the one that came out of the 387. That's the one that should go in it. I mean, do we keep it stock cams? I mean, it's kind of small. I don't know. Dent side, bump side. That's it. Thank you, Shelby. Good. Thank you, Shelby. I did a stock block 351 Windsor with a 7875. I hand ported the E7s, F cam, but it didn't last long. But that's a good cheap combo. Decided to go all out with Dalkey's 427. There you go. Are you the one that has the 427 over there now, Derek? Start with the E7 heads, then show the gain versus the flow. So you're saying, like, you know, start at the bare minimum. Like, let's be honest, the Explorer cam isn't shitty without saying it's shitty. It's kind of shitty. Like, leave the same heads in and change the cam. Cam's not hard to get. You can still give me budget on that, right? Same lifters. I don't give a damn. I don't care. I'll put the same lifters in and I don't care. I will cheat with the rockers, though, because they're factory Ford. GT40s and eBay EFI intake would be cheaper budget. What would be max boost and stock internals after a rebuild? I probably wouldn't push it past 14 pounds, 13 pounds, 14, which is a lot for a 351 Windsor. It's not a lot, but for that, it's going to make some power. Now, remember, 351 Windsors are torquey, boy. They are torquey. 408s are even worse. I mean, that's why they say 408 is probably one of the best motors that you could build if you're staying with a push rod. If you ever go to build one, you got the power, you got the strength, and you got the torque. And torque's what gets the cap off your beer, boys. Shit, I'm just saying. That a Victor Jr. EFI? I don't remember. I think so. It's a Super Vic. That's a Super Vic. And I got the elbow too. Somewhere being right here. Big ol' elbow. This is kind of bougie, man. I'm not gonna lie. One of y'all got a GT40 intake out there somewhere. Damn it. This is kind of bougie. Won't be flowing enough air to give a shit about this intake. Well, no, because it'll be boosted, so it'll be turboed, so it'll still be fun. I just wish I would have never effed my 387 up. My own fault. What's going on here? Keep it stock and hit it with nitrous. Come on, son. You can try the X cam. I have an X cam over there, but I think one of the lobes are wore out in it. Trick flow 170s are still affordable. They come up used all the time around 1200. Using your 170s is a good idea. What do you guys think? I mean, you're going to legitimately help me do this. I'll build the short block because I'm going to flip the pistons. End of story. That's what we did on Dad's car. That's what I'm going to do here. Hopefully the bores are in good condition. So I can just pull the shit out, hot tank it, clean it, sonic tank, whatever. I'm gonna deck the block, put some new cam bearings in it, basic rebuild. I might not even deck the block. Just saying. But we're gonna check it, we're gonna straight edge it, and if it's good, it's fine. If it's within tolerance, fine. It's not usually V8, especially 302s, they like the belly, like in the middle. So if it's straight, I'm gonna leave it alone. 100%. Don't need to cut it. Put some cam bearings in it. Put some new standard. We're going to polish the crank. Cheap. You know, should always polish crank when you put new bearings in. I mean, you don't have to, but just put some brand new bearings. I might not even put new bearings in the rod bearings. They look brand new. Probably just change the main bearings. I'm just talking about staying budget. Dingleberry hone it, put some new rings in it, flip the pistons, figure out what cam we're going to run. Got an oil pan in the pickup and all that shit from my boy Tyler Garlock. We're picking up that PRI this weekend. Speaking of which, if you got PRIs, come say hello. If I catch you, stop me and say hello. But yeah, we're going to be budget as hell. I don't know what I should do about the top end. And y'all can help me do that shit. B-cam is worse than factory cam with boost. Actually, I don't know what B-cam you're looking at, but B-cam actually has the same duration as an F-cam. Yeah, with 20 less advertised gross lift or whatever the hell that is. B-cam's actually a decent little boost cam. It's not terrible. I'm talking in a budget form, you know, in entry-level stuff like we're trying to do right now. Explore cam that's what's in it. 14 pounds on stock ring gaps? Absolutely. Absolutely. 14 pounds, we'll probably be 24, 26. If I did rings, they still would be file fit. So I'm going to make sure that we're going to drop a ring in and, you know, a stock ring in and see what happens. I mean, I always buy a stock set and a 5/over set. And I drop them in. If stock is 25 thou and it's clean, I'm going to leave it alone. Drop it in and go. I mean, this is your basic budget shit. Don't forget the special EFI rails for that intake. I know they're in that box right there, little white box. I knew a guy running 11s in the 90s with a B-cam twin turbos. It's not terrible. Neo, I have a stock factory 84 351 Windsor 4-barrel HO out of a van. Have you ever used one? What would be a good engine to build into a 387? 387 can be built in from anything. The only thing that the 387 that I liked about the 387 is the fact it was already roller. So it saved me money having to do link bar lifters. You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The 387, and Dave told me to do this. He's probably listening right now, damn it. He told me to do this. He says, you got 100 factory Ford lifters sitting in a damn kitty litter box, soaked in oil. Pull out 16 of them and put them in this motor. And that's exactly what we did. And he was right. He's like, I don't think I can count on one hand how many times I've seen an actual factory Ford lifter, hydraulic Ford lifter on a basic budget build, hydro build, fail on me. Legit. He's like, they don't fail often. So, yeah. When are you going to do when are you going to do a foxbody giveaway? Never. Nope. That is Caleb, Foxcast Media's thing. He does a really good job with that. If you guys are interested in getting in on some of those giveaways, go check out his channel. Does a fine job with it. He's given away 4 or 5 different cars now. He's built them and done really well with them. Do you think the N41 cam would be a good upgrade for my 306 running a GT40 intake? What camshaft did you put in there, Lamar? I think it had one in it. Somebody say nitrous. Not for you, son. Snag a B41, throw it in there, make all the power. That was the best cam I've ever ran in a blown SBE. I'm trying to keep it budget, bro. Guess what would be considered if you could run any camshaft out there on a set of Windsor Juniors, E7s like that are on there, or budget 170 trick flows, what would you run? What do you think about home porting aluminum heads? There's nothing wrong with that. Just I mean, if it's your first time porting, I probably wouldn't do it. Boost literally takes, yes, literally fixes a ton of factors. You're 100% right. Curious why the Victor Jr. over Trickflow OR intake. Well, I mean, I guess we could put the Trickflow OR intake that we have. We have the box R that we could put on it, but I'm telling you, I don't want to put that intake on there. It sits too high. I want to do something different. I don't think I've ever done the elbow style. I've never done the carved EFI style. I think it would. I think it was that's short runner, so I think that could kind of maybe help. I think the cam choice would be based on what head you use. Alphabet cams for stock heads, Anderson for aftermarket. Okay, so we put the 170s. By the time, if I'm being honest, by the time we get the 387 back together, I could use these 170 trick flow heads that I have, that I bought from McBride Racing that we rebuilt. Basic stock bottom end rebuild, rings, bearings, cam bearings. If I ran the 170s, what camshaft would you guys run? What do you think would be a good camshaft? At that point, if I ran those cylinder heads, I would run that Edelbrock intake. Try to catch up here in comments too. Less lift. Hey, you can use 351 truck lower with a Systemax upper. I think that's the 302 lower. Isn't that the 302 lower? They have an adapter for it. But then you start getting into more. I mean, the more money you spend on making stuff fit versus just buying shit. Like, I think if I was to use the Windsor, let's look at these Windsor Juniors I got real quick. I don't think I've unwrapped these in like a year and a half. They're kind of boat anchors, but guess what? Got this damn engine in my way. So I bought these a while back, or they came in one of my builds, and ended up rebuilding them. Got a nice set of trick flow 200s on it. Little cast iron Windsor Juniors. Is that right? Windsor Juniors? I mean, these are kind of a step up from stock, really, if I'm being honest. Those would be something that we could use. What do you think? I guess if I was to find a GT40 lower for a good price, could run a Explorer top and those Windsor Juniors on it, boost it and see what happened. What do you think? If I build a turbo 387, should I replace the stock 351 rods? Nah. Just don't kill it. Crush sleeve on jack stands sucks. Oh no. How much power do you want to make, Jimmer? We spun a stock unmodified Ford lifters at 9,000. And telling you. Speaking of Caleb, are you planning on doing the stick shift shootout this year? I do not. I am not doing that. I got a trick flow stage 1. We got one too. I got, actually, speaking of trick flow, guys. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and let this one loose. So, real quick off topic, you're going to want to hear this. We're going to be talking this week, next week with trick flow, and we're going to be becoming, we're going to be joining the ranks of cylinder heads and intakes. We're going to be getting rid of the AFR shit that we have on both of our cars, actually. So we're going to be running exclusively trick flow. We already run the 170s now, so we're kind of already ahead of the game. So I did want to show you this. Been talking to my buddy Pee Wee Miller, aka Harold, in the house. He's probably in chat, damn it. But This is what he gave me to give to you guys. Big chopper stick. Oop, it's upside down. Damn it. Can y'all see it? Trick Flow 5140 3003. This is a nasty bitch. I'm going to be honest with you. He was going to give us a Trick Flow Stage 1. I said, nah, we good. Let's do something, got a little bump to it. He said, okay, so we will be giving this camshaft away this month. So big shout to Trick Flow for hooking us up. I do have something coming from Anderson as well, but I'm not going to give that away. Neo, is anyone else? What do you think of the Holley System Max upper? Max effort factory turbo build. I don't think there's any well-documented footage for that yet. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's got me right there. You talk about max effort turbo. Now, you define max effort factory turbo build. Define that. Frankenstein says 170s B41 turbo. Okay. Let me catch up. I would run a 351 GT40 lower, the exploder cam 7875 with P heads with spring upgrade and let it eat. I leave those stock rods right in it. That's right. We bet the stock rods at about 750, but that was our own fault. Don't rattle the bottom end with timing. That's correct. Here's the cam card. Let's see if it focuses in. Damn it. I'll just read it to you. 1.6 at 1.6. It's a, yeah, I can't reach it. Oh, 236, 248 duration, 110 load step, advanced 5 degrees. It is a 574, 595 split duration. I think this is a stage 3, stage 4, stage 3. It's a bad bitch, that's for sure. But big shout to Pee Wee Miller and Trick Flow for sending us a camshaft to give to you. So somebody will be winning that this month. I also have, did I get anything else in yet for that? Yep. Also from Trick Flow, look what we got here. 2500, 100. So basically they sent us, this is like your basic spring upgrade for your E7 heads and your GT40 heads. So he sent a camshaft for the guys who make a little bit more power, who have a little bit more in their build. And he also sent something for the budget, you know, for the people that are looking to just upgrade. There's so much horsepower. Like putting these springs on, you will find horsepower. 100%. We've been running 25-100s on our GT40s and our E7 heads with dad's cars and all these builds on the channel. This is the spring upgrade. It's a drop-in upgrade kit, 2500-100 from Trick Flow. It's got all the shims. It's got all the retainers. Everything's, all the keys. You just put them in. You just take the shit off, put them in. So he sent us these for the stock bottom end E7 GT40 guys out there that, you know, are budgeting along. And then he sent me that big ass cam for you guys out there that might have a stroked Windsor or something. So pretty cool, man. Big shout to Pee Wee Miller and Trick Flow, man. Thank you guys. Valve train stability. How much for, I don't even know what that is. How much for year 351 Windsor? I don't know. Yeah, so it's stage 3 pimp. So they have 5 stages, and I think it goes up in duration. I think our friend, our buddies Tony and Tess run stage 5. I think they call that the man cam. It's huge. It's like 600 lift-ish. It's close to that. The duration's in like the 40s and 50s, so it's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. Timing is so much more abusive than anything. That's right. So, hell yeah. That What do you mean by piston flip? We're going to flip the pistons. We're going to put number 1 and number 5. Number 5 and number 1. Flip them. Bloop. You don't physically turn them around in your bore because the chamfers on the rods won't fit. So what you do is you basically take all the dots that face forward and you just basically rotate them all, like legitimately. So you got 1 in the dot, you flip it, and the dot will be facing backwards. So yeah. There is I can show you on this piston. There's a mechanical advantage to doing it. And if you look, I'm going to have to mark the marker. Ford actually changed, they put a 60 thou offset in the piston pin in all their factory pistons, pretty much late 80s all the way to where they discontinued it in 01. They did it for a cold weather piston slap. So if you look where the red line is, you will see that the piston pin is actually off center. Can you see it? You see it right there? So if you install this piston with the dot forward, which this is number, shit, I can't even see it, 5. So this is number 5. It would be installed on the driver's side, number 5. I'm gonna take the piston and put it in number 1, and the dot's gonna face backwards. So the chamfer on the rod actually just flips sides of the crankshaft. And I take this offset out of it and kind of pushes the piston up in the bore a little bit. That's a good thing right there. So on pretty much all the push rods, late 80s, I mean, we're going to find out because I never paid attention to stock pistons. So, but I'm 99% positive they did it on the 351. They offset the wrist pin. They offset the wrist pin because they wanted to take piston slap and cold weather out. So it won't be so. Apparently there was piston slap in cold weather. Shit, I've never heard it, never seen it, never felt it. I don't know. That's what you do. And it's an old dirt track trick. Back in the days, back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, whatever, they do it to, you're very limited. And even in the hot street, I think even some of the NMRA shit that hell, my buddy Gabe, it's in the chat, can tell you. They were very limited, like kind of like what Coyote does right now. Like you can't do shit to it. So what the people would do is they would find ways mechanically to make, like, that's where that whole 400 horsepower 302 came from. Trying to machine this and deck that and change this. And you can't use anything aftermarket. It has to do all factory stuff. That's where the 387 originally came from what I'm told, is the old dirt track trick, the old dirt track days. Because they would take a 400 modified crankshaft, a 351 Windsor block, and they would find some 6-cylinder L6 Chrysler rods. They would grind the snout of the crankshaft down, and that's how the original 387 was created. Like, it was a hodgepodge of a bunch of shit. But it's a lot harder to build that motor now because there's a lot of old parts involved in there. Plus, there's probably $1,000 of machine work. So instead, you just put a 385 crank in it now. So they didn't have that back then. But I don't recommend doing it on the 351. Big ass dish. It would recommend paying the 200 for flat tops, Speed Pro. If money was not an option, what would you build for a badass street setup? If money was not an option, street setup, probably what we're going to do with the coupe. Twin turbo, lightweight, bar angle changes, bigger, ability to make all the adjustment and have travel. You know what I mean? We're going to put travel in our coupe, but we're just going to lock it down and you're never going to see it unless we're on a back half or in the street. Even then, we're going to make sure that it's right. So what do you mean by, okay, so I showed him that stage 1 is, oh yeah. So wasn't the System Max remodeled truck? I think that was the 302 lower. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because the 351 lower, that was the 302 lower. This is the 351 lower here, and that don't look like no damn Systemax. But they do make an adapter that you can adapt the stock intake to this thing. But that adapter is like $300. So I would rather spend my money on a GT40 lower and use that instead than using that. I mean, I guess we could do that. That shit would be crazy. But American Gearhead, man, I appreciate you. $20 super chat. Thanks for what you do, bro. I can't stick around for the rest of the chat. Just want to let you know you appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for supporting the channel tonight. 351 truck lower is very oddball. That's correct. That's correct. So, yeah. I don't really have anything to really give away tonight. I do. Let's just do a T-shirt. We're at the 1 hour mark. Shit, I feel like I've been talking for like 10 minutes. I feel like I've been talking for like 10 minutes. I could talk about this shit all night long. Not even gonna lie to you. So we did get a. I didn't even see you there, MF Customs. It's good to see you, bro. Appreciate you stopping in. Got something I want to show them next week. I got something from you in the mail I want to show them. I'm going to actually put it on Facebook too. I appreciate you sending me that. I'm going to give away a T-shirt today. If that's all right. If everybody's all right with that. Damn it. I have them all nice and cold. So I got a whole bunch of T-shirts in today from 417 Fox. You guys go check out. We got a bunch of stick shift shit going on. You can see I got the new stick shift life. This is like a new brand. Has nothing, doesn't have my name on it, Neomustangs or anything. It kind of looks like this, but these are some of the newer ones that we did with the white car. I thought was pretty cool. There's no money in almost. That's pretty much sums up our year in 2024. This is brand new, pretty cool little setup. Got a big old flag on the side. So, yeah, we're going to. How much would a custom sheet metal intake from 351 cost? Would it be comparable to? Yes, it would be expensive. You should go buy that Fox from Jeff Curtis. Turn it into a. I got too many cars as it is. Can you put a stock 302 Fox body oil? No, you cannot. I picked up the T5 shirt since I wasn't. Well, to be honest with you, be surprised if TKOs are around in a few years anyways. They just don't make anything anymore for them. By factory max effort, I'm thinking mod anything Ford factory for the short block. Only aftermarket for turbo system, ignition system, and fuel delivery. Okay. Maybe intake too. That's the problem I have, dude. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So I really want to do this 351 truck. I mean, obviously the black car is sitting there with no engine, and I got the whole drive line sitting right there. It wouldn't take us but a couple weeks to throw some shit together. But it is what it is. Not going to FTO or just no shootout. I haven't made a decision on it. I haven't made really a solid decision on either one of those. But most likely we won't. I mean, we've been racing pretty hardcore down there the last couple of years. If I was to actually do a shootout at FTO and come down there just to hang out with Caleb and Brutal, because I never get a chance to see those guys, then, you know, we would probably just throw the shootout, but I wouldn't race in it. It's kind of hard to race and throw the shootout unless you hand the reins to somebody else. But if I was to throw the shootout, there would be a whole different staff with me and crew with me this time. I wouldn't be doing everything myself. So I haven't really decided any of that. I don't even know what the hell I'm racing at next. I'm trying to get some sort of stick shift point series together, possibly. I'm trying to get money. I don't know what I'm doing until after PRI this weekend. So a lot of the stuff that I've worked, my whole proposal, my whole channel, and all our max effort that we've done here on the channel with you guys, you know, we're stepping our game up. And, you know, we're going to stop trying to race multiple cars except for Dad's car. I mean, the stock bottom end shit, you know, that's going to stay true for us forever. But we're going to put everything in the coupe. Like, we're going to stop screwing around, and we want to go faster, and we want to be competitive. And it's stick shift's getting so fast. It's just like, you know, yeah, it's getting rough. Have a good night, man. Appreciate you stopping in, Thompson. Anyways, if you guys are interested, want to get the t-shirt, just go hashtag Neo. I only have large, extra large, and 2X. So hit me up, hashtag Neo. I'll send it out tomorrow. We also have a bunch of merch. Like I said, if you're into the stick shift shit, like if you got a T56, TKX, even a T5, we made some pretty cool designs over on Neomustangs.com, which I will go ahead and link. If you guys want to check out the hats, got some hats going on over there. Pretty good shit. It's a big shout to 417. They do the fulfillment for me, so you don't have to wait for me to actually pre-order any of this shit. This stuff gets made. If you order it, it gets made tomorrow. You know what I mean? So if you order it, it gets made tomorrow, and it gets shipped. So there's a link. If you guys see it, go check out that stuff on the website. Like I said, we got hats, we got t-shirts. We've got a lot of the Tremec stuff, like as far as like I said, the T56, TKX. And my name's not on those. Those are just based. That's just for stick shift shit, guys. Like, I created 4 shirts, the G101A, the TKX, the OG T5, and of course the T56 Magnum. And it's all about stick shift racing. And on the back of it, it says beat them with a stick. It's pretty dope. So got a Neo Mustangs hat, got a stick shift hat. I appreciate you guys that's been on that. So we'll go hashtag Neo, and I'll pick somebody. And I don't have banners, but I should have. I think Hanlon's giving me some this weekend. I'm gonna get some from Trick Flow. I think I'm gonna get some from Stiflers. If you guys are curious, you guys are interested, want some of them. Hopefully get some with Tremec too. So, yep. What do you think of FTO being in September? It's an absolute perfect move. And most likely, we had talked about FTO even after the math last in June, July, and I'd suggested to Caleb not so much the date change, but you know, if we stay in the summer, do it in the evening. Like if you're going to do a shootout or do racing, you can do some test and tune all day, and then if you're going to throw a shootout, you know, start it at like 5 and run it into the night, and make it or even start the event. I don't know what he's going to do time frame wise, but he might even start. Now you remember they do that Friday burnout stuff, so that's really, really cool, like a hangout. And people, you know, people have adult beverages and shit, drink a beer or whatever once in a while and have a good time that night. You know, getting up the next morning at 6 a.m. as a vendor kind of makes it a little bit difficult. So I think hopefully what happens with FTO, and I think that's probably what Caleb's going to do, is he's going to make it like 11-ish instead of it being like in the early morning and be done by 4. I think he's going to push the event to the afternoon and into the evening. But don't quote me on that. It's not my event, but that's what I would like to see. Because if you do a shootout or have some sort of grudge racing at night, you know, I would love to see like maybe Brutal and Foxcast and maybe some of the other content creators maybe throw together some sort of like little shootout for themselves. That would be kind of neat. You know what I mean? Just kind of like a specific like like budget. I'd love to see Tuss show up, man. 50 Tuss and do some damn wheelies for us, brother. So. Yeah, no one makes 5X to fit a fat man. Come on. He'll probably get you a 5X. I'll ask him. Let me go ahead and spin through here. Kevin Buff, you won the shirt. What size are you, bro? I'm going to need you to email me at neomustangs@hotmail.com. You got to let me know where you're from. Give me your name, address, and let me know what size shirt you want, bro, and I'll send it out. Hopefully it's a large, extra large, or double X, because that's all I actually got. So congratulations, Kevin Buff, on the shirt, brother. So anyways, so as far as Fox Days of Christmas is concerned, I want to talk about that real quick before I start losing y'all. I'm going to hope to do the Fox Days of Christmas with Brutal again. I really had a good time last week hanging out with Nakia, getting a chance to talk some foxbody shit with my dude. And I really like, you know, collaborating with some of my friends. I mean, because I talk to Caleb and Brutal, you know, pretty often, and as much as I talk to, you know, Hanlon and a number of other people. But I'd like to do, if we did Fox Days of Christmas, we're going to do it on the 28th. I've already decided that date. We're only going to give away about 5 or 6 things, but they're going to be significant items. They're not going to be, you know, t-shirts and hats. They're going to be you're going to want to be there. They're going to be on live only, period. I'm not going to do the hashtag bots bullshit that we did a couple years ago. Now, don't get me wrong. That was fun. And we used TubeBuddy as it was a good time. We had a good time with that. We gave away a lot of shit. But just for my own brain not melting this year, I would rather just give it away to you guys at live. You know, if you're not here on live and you're not kicking it with us on a Sunday, then you don't know we're giving away shit. I mean, I might advertise it, I might not. I don't know. Yeah, did you get that email, Kevin Buff? So we're crazy. What? Feel the struggle, Mike C. Hell yeah. Stick shifts must be nice. I'm boosted 3 on the tree. You shift that shit like on the tree, bro? Come on. That shit's awesome. That secret squirrel society. Work come early. Everyone have a good night. You have a good night, Troy. Appreciate you stopping in. Anyways, I got a lot to think about. We're going to be busting out the video that we're going to be doing this week. It's going to be we're going to continue on the 351. I think we're going to be talking, it's going to be like 50 degrees for like 4 days. So it's going to really kind of take most of the snow away. It's going to be a damn wet mess, but that's okay. It'll be enough for me to get the trailer roof fixed and take Dad's car over to the dyno. Got PRI coming up this weekend, so I got to choose on which one I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get both of them in because we leave on Thursday morning. So Hanlon's coming in for the weekend, and we're heading out. We'll be home Saturday night, so I will be live streaming next Sunday, and we'll be talking some foxbody shit. I'm not real sure what I'm going to be giving away yet, but I'm coming back from PRI, guys, so you never know what I'll have to give away. So got to stick around and find out for sure. But take it easy, Broken Tool. Good to see him. What's up, D10s? Yes, sir. 62 F100. Let's go. Flare side. That's the one I was missing. It's bump side and flare side, isn't it? Damn it. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's, you know, we're going to try our best to do as budget as possible with this 351. I'm pretty excited to I'm pretty excited to bring that to the channel. Sending you my car, can't figure out this term X. You talking about you bringing it down for us to tune it? Think we're going to make a no turbo, no problems. Who's with me? You damn right. Listen, I wouldn't be putting any sort of stock bottom end 351 in my black car right now. If my 387 was rolling, we'd be giving away some mufflers and shit. For sure. Keep doing what you're doing. One of the great channels. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you stopping in, Jeff. Bump side, flat side, bump side, flare side. Man, come on. But we're definitely going to keep it stock bottom end as far as flipping the pistons and doing the bearings and we're going to be doing the oil pan. So I think we're going to do a nice video on how to, like, pretty much what I'm doing with it, like stuff that's, we've already done this video with the 302 where we flipped the pistons and just dingleberry honed it and, put some, some standard shit that you would get at an auto parts store. I just keep it relevant, at least the short block, you know what I mean? And then we'll figure out the camshaft. I mean, I guess it kind of all entails on if I run these 170s, which, we're ready to go. Or if I won the, you know, I could sell these. You know, I didn't think about that. I could probably get rid of these Windsor Juniors that I got. I mean, the Windsor Juniors are like literally like the step up from like GT40s. I mean, I think I'm right by saying that, because they're still cast iron. They got pretty good ports and they're a decent little head, but they almost look stock. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I guess it all depends on what cylinder head I run. I don't want to get out of budget. I mean, people, you know, it doesn't mean something in me wants to run those E7 heads, and hopefully I can find me. If anybody's listening, like I said it earlier, I'm gonna say it again. If anybody's got a GT40 lower, 351 lower aluminum one, not that cast iron shit that they had in the boats, I'll pass on that. My shit's already too heavy. GT40 lower aluminum that they want to get rid of, not donate. I'll buy the damn thing. It's like an $800 lower. I know how much the damn things are. They're expensive. And I'd be willing to maybe even do some trading for it. That would be cool. We good? Give me a thumbs up. Does it, you know, we went the whole damn hour and 20 minutes without that shit happening. And Brutal was right. It happens right around about an hour. Damn it. We good? Yeah. If you port the heck out of your cast one, then it will be lighter. Jesse Workman, man, I appreciate that. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great work. I can't wait to see the videos, man. I appreciate you, man. We're going to be gathering parts next time. They sell intake adapters that allow you to run 302 intakes on. Yeah, but there's like they're like $300. Man. They're like $300. I mean, at that point, I might as well just find somebody that wants to trade up or do some shit with a GT40 lower. I've been kind of in the market for a GT40 lower 351 anyways. I mean, I have the Explorer, the Cobra, and the Lightning. And all, I actually, that Lightning one's actually an A50. If you guys remember the old Ford Motorsport one. Wait, I can't remember. One of the two are. Yeah, that's the F3, and that's the A50. So those are actually matching lowers. Those aren't Explorer lowers. That was pretty cool. So definitely pretty cool. So Murphy Slaw, man, I appreciate the $10 super sticker. Appreciate you guys donating to the channel. You guys rock. Love it. Why won't it let me do that? Oh. 300 is still cheaper than a 351. Listen, the 351, I wanted to make mention too. I did the tour with TrickFlow for those folks that are looking for the lowers. I think, was it just the box R lower, or was it all of them? Was it the track? I think it was the track heat and everything, wasn't it? I know you guys have been looking for TrickFlow lower intakes. They've been out of them, but they've been making. I just want to let you know, and it's okay for me to say, they've actually already made a big run of them and done a bunch of back orders. So they're back in the scene for the most part. So keep an eye out soon. It just, you know, the inventory goes up and then it goes out of stock pretty quick. So yeah, let me know what you want for that, Super Dave. I'd super appreciate it. Just let me know and we'll just buy it for the shop. If we get a GT40 lower, I mean, should we run it with the 170s? I mean, I think that Edelbrock, I mean, that's a super Vic. That's a pretty big intake. I don't know if that'll fit very well in those TrickFlows. I don't know. I haven't really made that decision yet. All lowers and uppers have been sporadic when they hit. Yes. So, you know, Pee Wee Miller wanted me to tell you guys that, you know, the box R is in production. So isn't the track heat. And so, yeah. So they are being made again. I don't know why you held your mouth open that. Was it like that? I seen that shit frozen, bro. Anyways, to answer the question that I got in the thumbnail, you know, junk, you know, stock bottom end, junkyard, turbo build, always been a, you know, it's always been in my wheelhouse. Y'all know that. I mean, we did that with Dad's car. Shit, that if there's any car on this, if there's any build on this channel that's super, like we built the shit from ground, it was Project Hot Wheels. Now, some of you guys might not know who Project Hot Wheels really is, but here in the channel, we have a playlist with Project. I think we got a playlist with Project Hot Wheels. Maybe we don't. And we took a stock motor, like legit, and we're about to do kind of like what we, and this is what makes me want to do this with the 351. We took a stock motor, stock E7 heads, a stock camshaft, the whole motor, intake to oil pan, was factory Ford, including the rockers, minus the head studs and head gaskets. Obviously, we put some Velcros, but we made 475, 520 to the wheels on that motor in complete stock form, and with it like a homemade budget turbo kit. Ended up running 1090s with it, and that's kind of where we're at with the 351. That's kind of where I might go to. If I end up getting a GT40 lower, maybe that's something we can kind of regurgitate that whole same build again, just in a bigger form. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be some people that are be like, why didn't you put a cam in it? You know, why didn't you put heads on it? Why didn't you put an intake on it? You know, that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's just like, you know, should I make it that budget relevant like we did with Hot Wheels? You think that is that hot still? I don't know. I mean, 387 stroker is always going to be where I want to go, period. Because the 387 stroker, next time it comes out, will have a much bigger camshaft in it and a better intake. And probably AFR heads that we have spare. I don't know. Jesse Workman, appreciate that $5 super chat. I figured I would keep donating and help you. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. You don't have to. I thank you, though. Mike Crawford, great channel, Neo. Have a great night, man. I appreciate you, brother. See you soon. If you're a 5X, hit me up an email. Maybe I can make something happen for you, brother. For sure. I just ordered some 13cc dish pistons for my 393, bringing the compression down. 70cc Victor Juniors. So that should run you 13 dish, 70cc, put you what? 10.6 to 1? Am I right? 10.5, 10.6. It's a good number. What head gaskets do you recommend, and what intake gaskets? Any ideas on what? I want to go with a little thinner on the head gaskets. 10.6. See, I know my stuff. Know it. I could figure out some CCs. Anyways, as far as budget's concerned, dude, 933 PT1 Velcros are what? $19 a piece. One of the best cylinder heads or the stupid head gaskets you're gonna buy, bro. 100%. The 387 definitely needs better heads this time around. Oh yeah. So I kind of had a lateral move with the trick flow, so we're just fortunate enough. We all are here, you know, here on the channel, you know, bringing content to you guys. You know, we get an opportunity to bring you the new 227s that they're coming out, because they are definitely putting 227s on the 363. Even though we just put that motor together, I had some reserve when I put it together. Remember, we talked about, like, I didn't want to put those cylinder heads on, but this is what we have right now. And we had to make that race in Kentucky. So the motor's coming out in the next couple of weeks. It's going over to Dave. We're putting 227s on. We're putting the matching lower intake and rails on. And then those old ass AFRs are coming off. Those are the ones I want to put on the 387 with the Anderson B451 camshaft. So the next time the 387 stroke, we made 400 wheel with a shitty B3. The B31 cam isn't shitty to begin with, but it's wore out. Like the cam gears wore out. My timing was retarding, just like it was on my white car. If you guys remember that video, I was losing like 4 degrees at like 6,000 RPM. That's why that thing was nosing the hell over. if you guys remember that. And I caught that at the end right before, and I went and raced it because I was going to do a video comparing both of the new timing gears and the new chain we were putting in. So, yeah. Anyway, we want to do those. I have vibrant muffler videos over here that half of the members have been wanting to get their fingers on for the last 6 months that I've been wanting to put on. And I actually got another set of brand new mufflers over here that we just picked up that I want to put on as well. So I want to go back to NA and I want to enjoy the 387. But like I said, if we built this turbo back here, this 351, bring some content for the next 2 or 3 months, we could always pull the damn thing out and not blow it up, put it on the stand, and maybe put it in Cousin Paul's car and shit. You know, we might pull out a super budget coupe, right? I mean, there is that red car out there that we want to build on. You know, Cousin Paul going to drive it. It'd be ugly as hell. He said he don't want to paint it. He said he wants it to be ugly as hell. He says, I want it to be fast, but I just want it to be ugly. I don't care. I'm going to spray paint it and shit. He's like, I might leave it alone. So, what about a stroked cleaver? That's funny you said that. I went this far into the live stream. I can let you guys know what we were going to do is we have a 410 Windsor. We have 2 410s we're building right now as soon as Dave gets home. One's Dave Willis's motor that we got to get off to him and you know, get off into the mail or, you know, get out the door. And we have a 410 short block that we've already got pistons and rods for anyway. So we're just going to finish it up with the crankshaft and have a spare motor. But if we don't use the 410 in the white car, when the white car goes to sleep, then we're going to put the cleaver motor on. A lot of things going on. You guys got to stick around, man. We got a lot of shit going on. But this 351 stuff is what we're doing right now. With the coupe stuff, I'm not going to do a whole lot of videos with the coupe stuff, but I will make updates because, to be honest with you, I got a lot of work to do on the coupe, and to do the videos every time we do work, you're just going to slow the process down. So I got to get the axle fixed. I get the front end in on it. So as soon as the motor comes back from Dave, we can get the drive line in it. Because, I mean, I got a brake system and a fuel system just to get the bare bones of that thing moving, and a turbo system. So, a lot of shit. Why don't you run reverse disc pistons? I do. Vibrance. You're actually who I was talking about. Yeah, so B31 is a great cam, but the one I have has the cam gears wore out. It's got pretty good wear in the cam gear. I forgot about those. I probably should just go ahead and ask Cassius if he wants me to give them away for Christmas. But I don't want to be asking again, you know, I don't want to be taken away from nobody, man. You know what I mean? Be asking again next year for them. I ran outside as soon as I got back home from the store and seen the notification, stroked cleaver. I had been dreaming about that since I was a young man. So that is exactly what we're actually going to do with the service. Like, I have the 71 service replacement boss heads over here. They're absolutely huge. They have huge ports in them. We're going to stick the Cleveland heads on a Windsor that's stroked, because they talk about, oh, that intake's too big, or those intake runners are too big. If you ran a 408 or a 417 or a 4, you know, run it like a production block. I'm not going to put an expensive dart block underneath of it. We're going to build a cleaver with those heads and a production 408 motor, and then we're going to take it to the engine dyno. We've never done an engine dyno, so we have most of the parts to do all that shit, minus the intake. And he's got a carb, so we're going to collaborate with Dave. It's going to be mine and his motor. Does that make sense? And we're going to put it in a truck at some point. That's 100% happening on his time. You see what I mean? Like, I can't force him to do that. I mean, I got other shit going on. But what's the benefit of the cleaver? High RPMs, just a monster build. Cleavers are badass. If you look up Mustang Trans Am in the 60s, that's where it all came from. Dan, some of us are... I get it, man. I'm getting there too myself. Okay, so those heads are, yes, they're boat anchors, like as far as weight's concerned. But those cleaver heads that I got are exceptionally rare because they're the 71 Boss 302 heads that came with the water jackets already drilled. Does that make sense? Okay, so the 2-barrel, 4-barrel Cleveland heads, you have to do modifications to them, and they make aluminum heads that whatever. But back in the 60s and the 70s, you had to drill and modify the cylinder head to make them work on a Windsor build of any sort. The nice thing about the Boss 302 heads, specifically the 71 service replacement heads, is all that shit was done. You could just slap them on and go. So I'm thinking, Dave said, now listen, Dave said 654 to the crank on our cleaver would break the record of some dumb record that he knows about. So we're going to be shooting for 700 crank on that build. That's, like I said, that's going to be an engine dyno, engine build only. Like, it's not going in anything specifically. We should, but you know, I'm not going to put that. We're not going to put that build on a foxbody, bro. It's going to be in a truck. That's America right there. That's America. Tell me I'm wrong. That's American right there, baby. Shit. 3-inch exhaust out the back, 700-inch cam. Come on. American power. I'm telling you. That's why I'm looking for a 6970 truck, because the heads match that truck, and so won't the block. So, pretty badass build. So, yeah, that's where we're going to try to break whatever record that is that he has. So, that cam will want more. Have what? 2, 3, 4, 7. Widowmakers. Okay, so guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me on a Sunday. We are heading to PRI this weekend, so if you see me, stop, say hello, get shit off the jack stands. You guys know the score here. You know, I wasn't, you know, I'm kind of sad because the 387's not here. I really enjoyed that build, but we'll make another one. We'll build it back better, and that's not a political thing. We're going to build our engine back and make it better. We're going to do this 351 while we're at it, because we're not doing it in vain. We got that red coupe out there. We can slap that shit down in there and send Cousin Paul on down the track. But nonetheless, got a couple videos. We're going to be digging into this motor this week, so that's going to be really kind of I'm a little bit nervous, because if the bores suck on this, we got to change the game plan. I do have those forged 30 over pistons over there that we can use, but we got to change the game plan. You know, if I got to bore this block to make it work, well, we're 100% putting the 170s on, because at that point, you know, we've already passed budget. Sucks, but hopefully that's not the case. So anyways, if you guys are, if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. Check out that join button, become a member. Guys, I'm just happy that I get to talk Foxbody shit on a Sunday night with Foxbody friends. Just car shit. You know, I appreciate everything that everyone does for the channel. I appreciate you just sitting here watching me ramble and participating in chat and talking some shit with us. Yeah, I just appreciate everything. You know, living the dream here. I'm never going to be the most fancy channel. I'm okay with that. I'm never going to get 100,000 views in the first 2 weeks. I'm okay with that too. I know where I sit, and I sit right here hanging out with you guys. So I do appreciate everybody who's part of that, in the videos, in the comments, in the shorts, and whatever. So big thanks to yeah, let's do this. Big thanks first to TrickFlow once again for the 2500-100 spring kit. This is for E7 heads and GT40 kit heads. This is for Fox Days of Christmas coming up. And also, big shout out to TrickFlow for the Stage 3 camshaft. This is a 574, 595 lip camshaft. Some of those big boy builds out there, we'll be giving those away. They're giving this away for Fox Days of Christmas as well. Got about 3 or 4 other things coming in the mail you guys are going to absolutely love. We're not giving away T-shirts that day, guys. You're not going to want to miss that day for sure. Big shout out to American Gearhead. Thank you for the 20. Big shout out to Kevin Buff. You won the T-shirt. Jesse Workman, once again, thank you for the $10 and the $5. Murphy Law, thank you for the $10. And Mike Crawford, appreciate you for the 20, guys. Appreciate you guys just sitting here talking shit with me, baby. So good night, guys. Appreciate everybody for stopping. Remember, write it down. Get your shit out the jack stands. Make a list. Get it done. We got a whole list to do with this 351 over here. We're going to be doing in the video this week. Stay motivated. Spend time with your families. You know, call that friend you ain't seen in a while. Check up on them. Say hello. Say hello to that family member you haven't seen in a while. It's Christmas, guys. You know, it's a holiday season. Just say hello to the family. And tell them you love them. So Appreciate everybody for stopping in tonight. We'll see you this week in the videos. Thank you for coming.